I'm Tree, and this is Project Transparency. The community calendar. June 13th is the next Definitely Depeer Art Walk. I will be at Polito's Pizza from 5 to 8. There's a lot of different artists to see at something like the Depeer Art Walk. June 19th is the next gallery night, and I will be at the Art Garage from 5 to 8. Not necessarily part of the community calendar, but related to my art practice, because I'm going to the Night Before Our Stars tomorrow, which is the pre-show thing of the Fault in Our Stars. If you're in the Green Bay area and you're going to the thing, you should come say hi to me, because I actually don't know a whole lot of nerdfighters in real life. I know like 2, I think, not counting my partner. But I think that's because of the nature of where I live. I think we're kind of isolated, and yeah. So yes, if you're going to Thing, come say hi to me. So I was telling you all last week about how the catalyst for Project Transparency was a disagreement I had with my friend, who is also an artist, about the negotiated spaces of art as a dialogue between the artist and the audience, and where the audience's response and reception is more often than not more important than the artist's intention. But really, a big part of the audience over artist paradigm occurs because art is communication. And if an audience isn't receiving even part of what an artist is intending, then the artist needs to go back and reconsider how they're doing their communication. It doesn't seem like that would be a hard concept to understand, but it is sometimes. But yeah, I told you all that I would see if my friend would be okay with me addressing these to her, and she said yes. The conversation went something along the lines of, mind you, this is through a Facebook PM. Have you watched my most recent video? No, I just woke up. Okay, well, when you do, tell me, because I have a question to ask you. Okay, what was your question? Do you mind if I address these things to you? No, have fun with that. Then some, is there anything you don't want me to tell people? Is there anything that you want me to do, etc.? Because, this is the kind of person I am. And the response was basically, I don't want to hinder your creativity or censor you in any way, shape, or form. That's cool. So, hello, Lane. It's nice to see you. I was thinking about talking about the erratic importance of the copy today, and I'm just not feeling it today. I have a page of stuff written on it. Blech. I've been getting a lot of questions and comments in the last couple weeks about how the where and how of where my ideas come from, and my my prolificness. Is that even a word? Prolificness. We're going to say it's a word. Which really, I'm not feeling particularly productive lately because reasons. That being said, my inspiration comes from a lot of places. And Lane and I have been talking about this since basically we met. How our ideas come from places of visual culture, come from what we read, and just interaction and observation of the world. And how that actually oftentimes got us in trouble in art school. Because you can have a painting of Christ, but you can't have a painting of a stormtrooper, even though it's all fan culture and fan derived. That being said, my inspiration comes from a lot of different places. Like, I spend an inordinate amount of time on Tumblr and Instagram and other places. Really, the internet is vital to my entire creative process, as well as my artistic process. because I kind of live in the middle of absolutely nowheresville so far as culture goes. And I mean, there are like little pockets here and there and everywhere. I know some amazing artists who are very established, and I know some amazing artists who are just bebés still and developing and growing and are going to take the world by storm, and it's going to be amazing to watch them do the thing. But just about all of it requires a lot of heavily invested driving to get to places. Like the nearest like art museum that isn't the Neville is like an hour, hour and a half away. And that isn't even going to Milwaukee. That's going to Wausau. A lot of the art that's produced where I live is highly either plein air, very Thomas Kincaid-esque, or pretty pictures of ducks. There isn't anything wrong with any of these things inherently, but when you're a conceptual artist and your interest lies in concept and social justice and things that, you know, require thought and not just people going, oh, a pretty picture of insert whatever here, it's a little disheartening and a little difficult to find other artists. Not that they're not here, they're just hard to find. We're not very organized people. We should work on that. That's the other problem. If you are a socially awkward artist who lives kind of far afield and you don't want to interrupt people and their practices because, you know, reasons, it's hard to meet other artists because of that too. But I know that the internet is also important for you, Lane, as an artist and a maker. And I know that where you go is very different than where I go. Though I have started to suck you into Tumblr, and that is a good thing. Now if I could just suck you into Instagram. What I make and how I make it and where the ideas come from happen because of a number of things. Sometimes things will just come out of doodles. I have an entire series called the Unnamed Friends series that started in doodles in my class notes when I was doing my PhD work. I have a series called Chimera that came out of process. I was taking a drawing 2 class in art school, and we did something called the 10-layer drawing, which is layers of non-consecutive media on top of an active grid. And once you get to a certain point, you can commit action. Like, you can cut it up, you can sew it together, you can mail it to somebody, you can stomp on it, you can have somebody else do a layer. And cutting it up, I started wanting to sew it into a more three-dimensional shape. Because something I used to do in one of my office jobs was little scraps of paper I would turn into little sculptures. So it came out of both a process and something I did when I was bored. And the Chimera are, to this day, one of my favorite series. They're just really, really, really work intensive and material intensive to do. Things like my sketch a day, which, you know, I talk about a lot because I think it's very interesting. A lot of the things that I draw for my sketch a day start because of something I've seen on Tumblr or Instagram, and then I develop them into something else. But God, I can't talk today. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, that's how some of my series have been inspired and originated. Almost always I go back to fairy tales. Fairy tales and myths and TV shows and movies, because TV shows and movies are our modern day fairy tales and myths. And you look at other artists and see what they're doing and generally love on their work. Like, Aya Cato's work has been very important to me. So, yeah. There you go, Lane. There is a really protracted, boring, rambling explanation of where my inspirations come from. You should, like, tell me where yours are, and anybody else who's watching this. You should tell me how you get inspirations for your work, whether it's music or writing or visual art or developing a character for the stage. Any of it, you should tell me. I want to know. I'm still trying to figure out a good ending for these. I really am. Today is not that day. The Zombie Bunny says like, share, comment, and subscribe. Pretty pictures of ducks.